Hello, long time no see. So yeah, obviously I haven't posted a video in a couple of months, but that's fine. Whatever. We don't need to get into it. I'm making my grand return to YouTube. I want to talk about the recent stuff that's been going on with her and her ex-girlfriend Destiny. Now, if you are not caught up, which hopefully this video will do for you, is basically Destiny returned to YouTube like almost a month ago, maybe just over a month ago at this point, talking about kind of her life updates, where she's moved, she's engaged to a new girl. If you don't know who Destiny is at all, she is a character from the past of AMBERLYNN Reed's channel. Her and Amber dated from mid 2015 until January of 2017. So I think all in all, it was like just over a year and a half or so. Decently long relationship, but Destiny is a very popular figure within the AMBERLYNN Reed community and girl world, if you will. And not because people necessarily like her, but because people really think that the Destiny era of Amber's channel was really the, like, quote unquote best era, I guess you could say, of the channel. And it's just some of the best quote unquote drama to come from that particular era. She has been making these basically like expose videos on Amber from when they were together. And so I want to go ahead and go over just a few of the points today. Not going to touch on every single thing because, let's be honest, Destiny's videos are a little rambly at times. She really kind of goes off on these little mini tangents for like a minute or two that have nothing to do with anything that she's talking about. So it's just a little like, okay, Destiny, get to it. Like, we're all here for a specific reason. And she keeps kind of claiming that there's like good tea. And I will say there's definitely been very interesting like little tidbits of information that have come from this. I wouldn't say there's been any good tea. There have been like 2 to 3 moments that did kind of make me drop my jaw to the floor, I guess. So there's definitely just a couple of stuff. So let's get into it. Actually, the first thing I want to touch on a little bit is what she discussed about her relationship with Dana, who becomes very important a little bit later. But Destiny, after she broke up with AMBERLYNN, was with a girl named Dana, and they were together for, I think, like 5 years. They broke up in, I think, 2022. Maybe 2021, I don't remember exactly, but they started dating a month after her and Amber broke up, so in February of 2017. So, a decently long, multi-year relationship. Now, Destiny and Dana's relationship came to a very kind of messy end, and a reoccurring theme that's been going on in Destiny's videos is that all of these girls, Destiny, Amber, Dana, like they all really just kind of love to kind of relationship hop and kind of really just like emotionally cheat on their partners, which is something that has been a big topic in the AMBERLYNN Reed universe right now, because for years Amber claimed that Destiny did not cheat on her, and then once she broke up with Becky in 2021 and that was all going on, Amber came back and said like, oh, Destiny finally admitted that she like emotionally cheated on me with Dana, which people have been saying for years. Some people still at this point, after Destiny has been making these videos, believe that there was more of a physical relationship at times between Destiny and Dana before the relationship did come to an end with Amber. Not saying it's not true, but I'm also not saying that it is true. It's definitely like, I'm going to say it's 50-50 on that one. Now, as far as some of the big topics with Amber, Destiny has been breaking down her videos in 2 years. So she had a 2015 part, she had 2 parts for 2016, and then she released a video just a couple of days ago, about a week ago at this point, just covering January of 2017, which was like the end of the relationship and the kind of immediate aftermath. So the 2015 video, not really much like came from that video. It really is just kind of talking about the kind of beginning of the relationship. The biggest like piece of tea, I guess, to come from that particular video was Destiny revealed a huge fight that her and Amber had that actually took place in a Walmart. Now, they loved to frequent Walmart. Amber loved a good Walmart haul. And one thing that Amber gets a lot of criticism for in the past, because she doesn't really leave her house anymore, but back then when she did, she would ride the scooters, like the kind of motorized scooters that are supposed to be for people who are unable to walk. Now, Amber at the time could walk. Obviously, she's a bigger girl, and so I'm sure it was difficult at times for her, but she physically could do it. Destiny kind of brought up how Amber would make Destiny ride in a cart as well because she wanted to feel better. And something I want to bring up now is the age difference between Amber and Destiny. Destiny, at the time of when her and Amber got together, was only 20, I think. I think she turned 21 in 2016. So she was very young. Amber at the time, I believe, was 24, 25. She's like 4 to 5 years older than Destiny. So it is quite a big age difference at that point in your life. I mean, I'm 26 now. I couldn't imagine trying to date a 22-year-old. Like, you're just in kind of different points, like maturity wise. Like when you are in your early 20s, you're still kind of growing up and learning a little bit. And so Amber being pretty older, like obviously she's kind of grown and maturing a little bit faster than Destiny in kind of the age sense. Now, in the actual sense of that maturity, I think they were probably on an equal playing field, but there still is a bit of a power imbalance as far as the age difference. But why do I bring this up? Because Destiny likes to kind of claim that Amber made her do a lot of things, which, you know, you can say like, oh, Destiny was an adult at the time, she could make her own decisions. But I also think when you're young, you're going to do something to make your partner happy, even if you don't feel completely comfortable with that. Now, in this Walmart, or particular experience in the Walmart that Destiny is bringing up, Amber was in a scooter, and Destiny reveals that she called Amber by the pet name of Pookie. Now, this pet name is significant because it is what Destiny's ex-girlfriend was called by Destiny. Something also that Destiny revealed during this, before I get into the major meat of it, is that Destiny was kind of talking to that girlfriend while she was engaged, and she admits to fully cheating on that girl with Amber and then continuing to talk to her after her and Amber were in a relationship. You know, Destiny already not making herself look the best, but this particular fight, Amber, it's really funny imagery. Basically, Destiny explains that Amber, like, speeds off in her motorized scooter in this Walmart, and they basically can't find each other. Destiny can't find Amber. I guess she tried to call her and text her and she didn't answer, and Destiny admits to leaving. She left the Walmart, she put her stuff back she was going to buy, got in her car, and left. And she's like, now I want to point out that we only lived a couple of blocks, like, you know, right around the corner from this Walmart. Regardless, I don't think, even if you're fighting, you shouldn't just leave your partner in the middle of a store unattended when they have no way of getting themselves home. And Destiny's like, I got home, I took a shower, and when I got out of the shower, she had called me a couple times, and she says that Amber had started walking home on her own, and then Destiny went to go pick her up and take her home the rest of the way. And I'm just like, wow, already not off to a great start. So that's really the only major two topics as far as the Pookie and the Walmart fight from 2015. In 2016, I mean, there was just a lot of things that went on. Stories that Destiny has told about the relationship between Amber and Destiny's mother, which has sparked a much larger conversation in the Amberverse as a whole, and how Amber always seems to have conflict with her girlfriend's mother. Now, up to this point, if I'm not mistaken, we did not know that Amber and Destiny's mom ever had any sort of conflict. Amber has always portrayed the relationship as very loving and caring, and that she really, really loved Destiny's mom and, you know, was grateful to have her in her life. Destiny's mom has since passed away a couple of years ago, which is something that she was kind of talking about in one of the earlier videos relating to her relationship with Dana. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but you can definitely find a little bit more kind of about Destiny's grieving process. But for the context of this story, Destiny, when her and Amber first got together, was living in Florida with her father, and to my knowledge, from what I've gathered, she had kind of always been with her dad and had only seen her mom a couple of times throughout her childhood, like maybe for the summer. She said that her parents switched off for Christmases, so she wasn't seeing her mother frequently. And Destiny later says that her mom did have a problem with alcohol, so, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of trauma going on relating to that from Destiny's childhood. But when they were living in Florida, they were living there for about a year, from, you know, July of when Amber moved down there of 2015 to July of 2016 when they moved up to Kentucky, which is where Destiny's mother lived. When they did this, they did not have a place to stay immediately, so they moved in with Destiny's mom. And Destiny recalls some stories of Amber and Destiny's mother getting into, as she calls them, spats. Now, she's clarified that, these at times were mostly verbal arguments, but she does discuss a time where it did get physical. Destiny's mother hit Amber with a K cup holder, like one of those spinny kind of metal K cup holders. I'm assuming, obviously like controversy about this, and I've seen people fully defend Amber and fully damn Amber basically for being essentially the cause of this. A lot of the fights that Amber and Destiny's mother would have were apparently around Amber's work situation and her weight primarily. This particular fight was sparked because Amber and Destiny had started a job at the VA, basically doing data entry, and so they were doing training, and Amber was basically saying, I'm not sure if I want to stay with the job, but I really want to focus on YouTube. And then Destiny's mother basically was like, well, you're never going to lose weight if you just always stay home and are always on YouTube, and you're not getting out. And I guess they got into it, and then it sparked this physical altercation. Destiny describes basically blacking out during the experience and freaking out. Now, I think this deserves a whole video on its own, kind of breaking down all of this, but it's really scary. Like, and I feel sad for Destiny and Amber. I don't want to say anything about Destiny's mother. Obviously, like I said, she's no longer here. I don't know the woman, but to attack your daughter's girlfriend, I get that Amber was probably very disrespectful. We've seen Amber be rude to multiple parents. We've seen Amber just not have the same level of respect for others, and I think that goes back, not that I'm defending, but it really goes back to Amber's childhood and kind of feeling neglectful and never fully being able to trust adults, from her parents to her foster care experience. So there's definitely reasonings behind this. However, it is, as sad as it is the, once you are an adult, it is your job to kind of break those cycles and kind of move on, which is not always easy. So I'm not saying that Amber should have, that she deserved it. And I want to make it clear that I don't think Destiny's mother was in the right to physically hit Amber. And there's just, like I said, a whole lot about that, but that was one really huge like piece of information that was just like shocking, because basically after this they got this job, I believe, in August, and Destiny said this was about 2 weeks into training, so I'm assuming this was like the end of August, beginning of September, and I think by October they had moved out and were in their own townhouse place. After they moved out, basically by this point, Destiny describes her relationship with Amber as very tumultuous, that they were fighting and arguing all the time, and that Destiny essentially was just done. Now, at this VA job that they have, this is where Destiny eventually met Dana, who she would, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, left Amber for. Like, really. And I think Destiny describes it. She, in these videos, describes that her and Dana became friends when they started, and everyone was friends with each other, like including Amber. She says Amber was like the most popular girl at the VA, and they all gathered in the bathroom to talk because they couldn't speak while doing the job, and they couldn't have their, I guess, like phones with them. So, it's a whole thing. But essentially, she describes that her and Dana's relationship came to an end in November before resuming again after her and Amber broke up. I just want to skip over a little bit of this and get straight to the end of November, because I think this is really truly like the beginning of the end of the relationship for Destiny and Amber. What I'm going to describe is a very serious night of conflict between two people who were in a relationship, and I don't want to have anyone think that I am necessarily taking sides, or I am like saying that one person is more right over the other or anything like that. I am just letting you know what Destiny has let us know and what Amber's response to that has been. And I will, of course, give my opinion, but I just want to kind of preface that first before going in. So basically, what happened this one night is after they had moved out of Destiny's mom's house, they, I guess, were drifting apart a little bit because, I mean, there also, this has been a big discussion. There is a bit of a pattern of Amber always wanting to kind of separate her girlfriends from like their family and friends that she had before them and whatever. So Destiny describes that she hadn't seen her mother, and so her grandmother called her and said, "We're doing dinner at your mom's house, like why don't you come over because we haven't seen you in a bit." And Destiny's like, "Yeah, great, I want to come over." She says that her and Amber had been fighting already, and had just not been getting along. Like I said, they were kind of just having constant arguments, which, if you go back and watch videos, Amber portrays, all of her relationship with Destiny as like happy rainbows and like nothing going on. But people who are watching at the time really could like sense that something was off with Destiny for like a while at this point. So by the time we get to November, when this huge altercation takes place, I think their relationship was really at like a boiling or breaking point. So Destiny says to Amber, "I'm leaving. I'm going to go to my mom's." And I guess Amber is like, "Well, I don't want to go." And Destiny's like, "Hey, you don't have to go. Like, I will just go and you can stay here. Like, that's fine." And I can see why Amber didn't want to go. Obviously, it sounds like the relationship with Destiny's mom, while Amber in the present day is saying that it was great, and yes, these things that Destiny said happened did happen, Amber is almost not, I don't know, it's weird. She's like, "Yeah, it happened, but me and Destiny's mom made up and I love her and respect her and miss her." So basically Amber didn't want to go in the moment, and Destiny is like, "I'm drinking a Co-Red Mountain Dew and we're fighting and arguing." And I got to my car, and basically Amber was like screaming at her that she needs to come back inside, that they need to stay with her. And Destiny claims that Amber said she was going to harm herself in some sort of way. um, Destiny gets into the car. Destiny says that Amber basically charges the car while Destiny's in it. She leaves the Mountain Dew Code Red on top of the car and basically says that Amber comes up to the window, is screaming and pounding on the window, and then apparently claims to have that Amber threw the Mountain Dew Code Red at the car. Now, this situation has been really dissected by a lot of reaction channels and whatnot. And as far as my 2 cents, do I think that Amber did threaten herself? Well, I guess what I'm going to say is that Amber claims that this did not happen, but then she later stated that some of it was true, some of it was not true. Destiny in her video says that they go back and forth all the time because they were friends at a point that this does happen, and Destiny says it did happen. Amber said it didn't happen. It is very unclear in this situation for me personally, because what is it? Is Amber saying that she didn't throw the Mountain Dew? Is she saying that she didn't threaten to harm herself? Is she saying that they weren't arguing, that she just didn't want Destiny to go? Because what Amber does admit to is that she did not want Destiny to go because she was very anxious and scared and depressed at the time. She said that their address had been doxxed, and so she was just like scared and didn't want Destiny to leave her alone. And Destiny, I mean, she obviously put out the whole story, so obviously that's her timeline of what is true. I obviously think that the truth, much like the truth tends to be, is somewhere in the middle. Do I think Amber threatened harm on herself? I'm not willing to say yes, but I'm not willing to say no. Do I think Amber threw the Mountain Dew? Actually, what I kind of think happened is, if Amber was pounding on the car for Destiny to get out, which granted is not, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, I don't condone that kind of behavior. But if she's pounding on the car, like, I probably think that the Mountain Dew just fell. Like, I mean, do I think that Amber threw the Mountain Dew? This is a crazy story, and I don't know why I'm sitting here talking about it. Did this woman 5, 6 years ago throw a Mountain Dew at her ex-girlfriend's car? I don't know. It is like a soap opera, and it's so sad because these are people's real lives, real emotions. And, why do we as audiences and consumers want to consume all of this and eat all of this up? I don't know, but we do. And I can't say that I don't also like partaking in kind of knowing all of this. So yeah, I know it's not ethical. Like, sitting here doing this, is it the most ethical thing? No. Should we really be speculating on these things? Probably not. But it's just kind of human nature to want to know the intimate, secret details of a relationship. I mean, I don't think everyone does. Obviously, millions of people don't care about this at all and don't care about this sort of thing. But for those of us who do, I don't know, there's just something in us that really not like is a bad word, but really just kind of for me, I guess, I can't speak for anyone else. For me, I just find this sort of stuff really fascinating, and I find Amber herself fascinating. I think she is a really interesting person to look at and look at her decisions and kind of why she's done the things that she's done. I just think there's a lot to parse apart there. And I think that comes from my kind of, I got my degree in psychology. I've always been interested in kind of why people do the things they do and decision making and our emotions and all of that. So that, anyway, tangent, that's my 2 cents. Getting back to the part where I think it's really interesting that not a lot of people have talked about, because I guess it's not that interesting, but it just kind of like recontextualizes a really, what I think is like famous part of the lore of Amber and Destiny's relationship. So Amber, like I said, by this point was making very good money from YouTube. And she kind of went overboard this particular Christmas and bought Destiny like hundreds of dollars of gifts and things, and you could see it in her vlog. And there is this very famous clip of basically Destiny and Amber sitting in the living room, and Amber is like, "Oh, I let Destiny open one gift and then another gift, and then it turns to this," and she like does this little gig. Destiny is surrounded by all these gifts, and she's opened it. And basically, what Destiny says is that after they had this huge fight with the Mountain Dew Code Red incident, she is like, "I'm 99% sure I didn't go to my mom's. I went back into the house and dealt with her." And then she says that's where the famous clip came from of her opening all the gifts. So I'm a little confused because, like, I feel like you would remember, like, if you could remember the story, I feel like you would remember what you would do immediately after, and I feel like you would remember if that immediately came after or not. I mean, it's time stamped on Amber's channel, like, you could know when it happened. But if it did, I just think that recontextualizes a huge piece of the lore from Amber's channel. I mean, people have dissected this clip for years as like Amber is trying to buy Destiny's love. She can tell the relationship is on the last end, and I think this kind of just plays into that so much and really kind of like makes those theories very much more probably true. So I just think it's really interesting, and no one's really talked about that too much, so I just wanted to touch on it. We got through the rest of December. Destiny doesn't really mention much that happens. We get to January where she describes the whole breakup, and I'm going to break this down really simple because Destiny's video was like 45 minutes, but it could have been about 6 seconds. Basically, they were fighting all of the time. At this point, Amber had quit her job at the VA. Destiny was still working there, and Destiny says that Amber, every time Destiny left the house, wanted to call her, and I mean left to go to work. She wanted Destiny to hang out with her on lunch, like FaceTime her or call her. Destiny said she got 2 15-minute breaks. Amber wanted her to call her. Destiny says that if she wanted to hang out with people that she had met through work, like friends, and she says that Dana is not one of them, because remember, they hadn't talked since November at this point. Destiny wanted to do that, hang out with people, then Amber would get mad. They worked with this other girl named Sharla, who was very close with Amber at one point. It's kind of a forgotten, like, I wouldn't say side character, probably, special guest star in the Amber show, in the Amberverse. Destiny claims that she's, like, no good and is a little bit of a troublemaker, stir maker. So I'm actually very intrigued to see a little bit more about that little subplot in Destiny's upcoming videos that they end up breaking up. Destiny lied to Amber and said they had announcements when they didn't, so Amber texted Sharla, asked about this. Sharla said, no, that's not true. Amber called Destiny. They fought. Destiny was on her way home from work and broke up with Amber, apparently turned off her phone, didn't talk to her. And then Destiny describes this weekend where she like just didn't go home, because this was on a Friday night that this happened. She just didn't go home. She tried to hook up with some other girl that they worked with, not to Dana. Again, she clarifies it's not Dana. She says that she did text Dana on like Sunday or Monday after breaking up with Amber, and then they started hanging out, and basically they started dating at the end of that January. At this point, they are still sleeping in the bed. Amber has claimed that, yes, Destiny did break up with her, that Destiny did cheat on Amber. She says that while they were still broken up, because another big part of the Amberverse is that Amber always makes all of her girlfriends sleep in this bed with her after they break up. She says that her and Destiny had sex while still broken up and while Destiny was trying to date Dana by this point. So it's just really messy. And obviously all the ins and out details are a little bit juicy. But that's kind of the end of it. That's where we're at this point. There's been no further Destiny videos. Now, she may be releasing a video this week. I'm recording this on Sunday before Memorial Day, so it'll be up tomorrow, the Monday of Memorial Day. So she may release a video like today on Monday or later in the week. And if she does, then I'll definitely be sure to recap that video with any interesting facts. What I think Destiny's plan is to cover the rest of 2017, which will be kind of the beginning of her relationship with Dana and the beginning of her friendship with Amber, and Amber starting to date Becky, who was her long-term girlfriend after Destiny, which I think will be really fascinating because clearly these two people did not get along. They were fighting all of the time. They didn't make good partners. And sure, sometimes people don't make good partners, but they can make good friends. But there was just, as we said, so much emotional cheating, emotional manipulation, just turbulence, violence in these two people's lives when they were together that I just cannot comprehend how they wanted to try to be friends. And Amber, in her videos after the Destiny breakup, were like, I love Destiny. She's amazing. We still want to be friends. And Amber was like in love like with Destiny for years after they broke up. So I am excited to get into that personally. So just let me know what you think. I know this was like a really long video. Let me know what you think of Amber and Destiny. Let me know what do you think Destiny's return to YouTube. What do you think of my return to YouTube? And yeah, I'm just excited for it, to be honest. I know it's messy and juvenile and immature, but I am. I'm sorry. So thanks so much. I will talk to you next time until there is another drama to recap. Bye.